Howdy, guys. Just wanted to speak a little bit about what I believe the elites have planned for us. What we want and what they want are obviously usually two different things. And I just want to look at stock prices to see whether or not the elite want to kill the gasoline car and promote the new electric vehicles. And to do this, let's get this out of here first. There you go. Okay. To do this, we'll look at first the Brent crude oil price. Now, I've heard recently that the U.S. Brent crude price could crash down to single digits. So you're talking like below $9, below $10, right? And right now we've just crashed through an area of resistance, and I'm thinking, well, it was support actually. I'm thinking we could come back up and backtest it here at 55 or 56 before bouncing lower to this new one, falling lower to 50. Now, if this happens, right, it's going to crush emerging markets that, like Venezuela, for instance, that export their crude oil. Now, the U.S. can continue to produce oil in the negative because it's always produced oil in the negative since it began fracking. And fracking is basically like a no-win situation. It destroys the environment. It's costly. We never make any profit on it. And one of the reasons that we can do that, we can have this huge money pit that we just throw money at and get barely any rate of return back. The ROI on it is insane. It's stupid. Nobody would ever put money towards fracking. But the reason why the U.S. can is because we print money. And we need a place to throw our printed money. And we throw our money into our oil industry in the way we pump it. So it can lose as much money as it wants, and we'll always continue to produce. And in doing so, it will drive the price of oil down, down, down. So as long as Americans want their dollars, and continue to work for dollars, they are going to, be slaves to this petrodollar system. And in doing so, emerging markets are going to get crushed. Emerging markets like Venezuela. So they rely on getting a good ROI for the cheap oil that they can pump so that they can cover, national deficits and things like that. And they like to export to make money. Well, if we can produce and be the world's leading producer of oil in the negative, pushing it down as low as $9 per barrel, emerging markets are going to get wrecked. This is a way to punish Venezuela for siding with Russia. So Russia has basically taken countries like Venezuela under their wing and saying, we'll still buy your oil. So it's a way for the U.S. to say, hey, Venezuela, don't you owe us money? We'll continue to pay those bills that you owe us, but while taking away their ability to create money, right? And they're hoping that this pressure against Russia, because Russia's their ally right now and is buying their oil, because they have some pretty nasty oil over there that needs to be mixed with sweet crude in order to make it usable. But they're trying to create a financial strain between the two countries where perhaps Russia doesn't want to help bail them out anymore. Okay, so by crushing our enemies, right, by using Brent crude oil as the weapon and its price as a weapon, it's basically, killing producers all over the world, which would make the world not want to produce oil, and then eventually they'll turn off the money spigot and then turn it they'll turn it off, and then all of a sudden we're all going to be scrambling for oil that won't be there, because right now there's a surplus of oil out there in the world floating around in cargo containers and on land and in these, it's all over. We have an abundance of it in storage, and if we use it up because nobody wants to produce it anymore because it's not cost effective, then you will create a scarcity, and then the, say, Rothschilds or Rockefellers or whatever big family elites are involved with oil, they could turn it back on, and the demand will be there, but then there won't be any product. So then you'll see oil reach, $300, $400, $500 a barrel. I'm not kidding about that price either, because what you'll have is scarcity, high demand, and they'll be the only ones that will have oil companies still running. So the oil companies that they deem fit enough to bow down to them will be the only ones that produce, and then they'll be able to demand any cost whatsoever. So it's wrecking us financially. Now I wanted to just jump over to look at Tesla, because Tesla is let's look at other manufacturers that make vehicles. So for example, you've got Subaru Corporation has been kind of in a downtrend right now. It's been pulling back at least since November. We had a high roughly of around $14.50 and have a low now of 11. So percentage wise, it's pretty nasty, and it looks like it's going to continue its downtrend. Ford Motor Company the stock price is only at $9 and has been floundering. It's trying to get moving, but it's just having a really, really tough time. So with Ford Motor Company kind of stalling out, hopefully it can get some gains here and start moving to the upside. But again, this is an oil consuming vehicle and not an electric vehicle. GM has also been on a downtrend right here, and we'll see what happens. This whipsawing can be pretty rough for traders. It can be pretty difficult for the manufacturers themselves, because they don't know if that money will be there from investors so that they can expand their plants. So this whipsawing is happening on purpose, in my opinion. BMW is crashing right now because, it's not in the elite's best interest to promote German car manufacturing right now. So they're being punished. They're being ripped to pieces right now. A lot of it has to do with their decision to sneak around some of the blocking of trade that the U.S. has set up with BMW trading with Russia. But they continue to trade with them, and it's been kind of a no-no. Now let's jump over. You're seeing how some of these stocks are falling. They're losing their value, quote-unquote. But let's look at Tesla. You see how Tesla is gone parabolic. Now the elites are saying, they're signaling to you, hey, everybody, panic buy into Tesla because it's going to the moon. Right? They are promoting their boy, Elon Musk here, who is a full-blown, he's one of them, man. He's one of the elite. And here we go. We're just, getting this parabolic move to the upside. We're going to reach $1,000 here soon. That's about $1,000 right there. Currently, it's at $887. Yesterday, it was only at $779. So, I mean, we're just moving up by leaps and bounds every day through Tesla. Now, Tesla has never turned a profit, really. So it's a company that always trades in the negative. It gets its money from California for basically producing. It gets subsidies from California to basically be there. And that's the only way that company has been in business, is through handouts from the taxpayers. So taxpayers are paying Tesla to make hipster cars so other people can buy them at a loss, right? So, yeah, I mean, Tesla is not a good model for a good business in the how would you say it, in the capitalism sense. It's a great business as far as the like communist sense, because communism relies on you stealing from one party to support another. And in this case, it's stealing from the taxpayers of California to pay for a failing business of Tesla. So yeah, it's socialism, it's communism, it's ugly and it's nasty. And I could dive into Tesla even further, but what really I don't want to get lost in the weeds, but really what I just want to show you is that the elite are pulling their money out of all these other good gasoline producing vehicles, right? And trying to pump up Tesla as if it had value. Tesla doesn't have value because, when you take coal burning plants, right, you have to convert coal into heat energy, and that converts it into electric, which then travels from the power lines to your home. And then from your home, you have to charge a battery. And then from the battery, it goes to the motors, and then it is actually spent and used up. So anytime you have a transition of power, there is a power loss because of that transition. So it makes it less and less efficient. Gasoline is great because as soon as you pump it out of the ground and you process it into the fuel that we use in our vehicles, it can be stored, and the actual combustion of it can produce direct results to the driveline, power to the driveline. So you're looking at a very much more efficient way to make energy. Now, I believe that the elites always steal ideas because they're not smart enough to have their own. So, for example, Tesla, Elon Musk company, is an electric car company, but its name Tesla was stolen from the original Tesla, who actually had a much different view of the way we should have electricity and the way we would use it. It's really sad and disappointing at how they've taken his name and basically dragged it through the mud with this loser Elon Musk. But here's the point that I want to make. If you are in Tesla stock, you are killing it. You're absolutely destroying it right now. You're loving life. You're doubling, tripling your money since June, the summer of this last summer. More than that, it's gone up since 4 to 5x. It's gone up since this last summer. So, bravo, congratulations on the trade of the century if you're in these stocks. But I believe the elite will continue to pump these up. They're going to continue to push them higher and higher and let people kind of FOMO into them. Nobody's going to sell, by the way. No, I don't think many people are bright enough to trade the market, proficiently. So they're all going to buy high. And when it goes back to its real value, which is zero, because that's what happens when you produce with no profit. Your real value is zero. You're in the hole. When it goes back to its real value of zero, people will have a rude awakening. But I don't want to say that Tesla is a bad investment right now, because there was a lot of smart people that understood that when we went off the gold standard, they bought a lot of gold and silver because they knew that fundamentally the market would crash and eventually gold and silver would reign. Now, that was a very, very long time ago, and gold and silver have still not shined. Money printing is continuing to go through the roof. So, you're basically looking at an irrational market that doesn't make sense. So you have to trade with technical analysis, screw fundamental analysis, throw it out the window. A lot of these companies that you're going to see, like Tesla, if they come out with another company that's supported by the elites, and besides Elon Musk, that is another car producer of electric vehicle, they're going to try to pump that up, even if it doesn't make sense. Like, try driving a Tesla car in sub-freezing weather. It doesn't make sense. The effectiveness of transferring energy doesn't make sense. The car itself sucks. The fact that you have a chemical fires when they're rear-ended, or in auto accidents that cause chemical fires that blaze hotter than your traditional fires through gasoline. People get burned up and burned alive in their Teslas. It's a really terrible thing, let alone the fact that you have no support when it comes to Tesla for them backing warranties, or, the average guy that wrenches on vehicles can't fix a Tesla. So, there's a lot of things out there that'll leave you high and dry with your butt hanging out in the wind. So Tesla itself, if you want to trade it as a stock, it's probably going to keep going up. I really think that you haven't seen the high yet. It might pull back here for a little bit and then blast off higher again. I'm expecting a pullback to probably the 550 region before gathering itself back up and reaching over $1,000. So, those are my thoughts on Tesla. The elites, their plan to destroy and use the petrodollar and crude oil price per barrel as a weapon, and they are going to push through their agenda on gas vehicles that they're worried about the environment, which is BS, and they want to bring out electric vehicles. That's it for today, guys. I hope this message finds you well. I could probably do another video on just Elon Musk himself and how evil he is, but there's a lot of stuff out there already. That's it. I think the next video today is just going to be on what you see over here, the stock market in general. I want to go over those because I track these every day anyway, but I usually don't talk about them. So it'd be interesting to pull that out and just let you guys see how I think about these stocks right now. All right. God bless you. I'm out of here. We'll see you in the group. I'm out.